You assume your temperature-controlled home, your plush ergonomic chair, and your instant delivery food apps represent the absolute peak of human progress. You worked hard to build a life free from pain, but consider a brutal reality. The exact tools you built to keep yourself safe are the exact weapons destroying your mind and body. We expect comfort to bring us happiness and health. Instead, we suffer from unprecedented levels of chronic disease, crippling anxiety, and a crushing, persistent emptiness. We are the most comfortable humans in history, yet we are miserable. We treat comfort as the ultimate goal of existence. In reality, our biology demands struggle. We evolved to face friction, weather, and physical scarcity. When you remove all friction from daily life, your skeleton weakens, your metabolism stalls, and your mind turns against itself. This script breaks down Michael Easter's investigation into our modern predicament. We will not provide a standard recap. Instead, we will examine 5 specific modules of modern illusion and detail how injecting intentional hardship into your routine can reclaim your primal strength. Module 1. The Trap of Comfort Creep. For millions of years, human beings lived in a world defined by raw elements and unforgiving terrain. We faced blistering heat, freezing winds, and sudden storms. Our bodies adapted to these relentless extremes, building thick skin, dense bones, and robust immune systems. We survived because we learned to endure the harshness of nature. Today, we exist inside a bizarre, sterile, artificial bubble. We engineered a society where the temperature never fluctuates beyond a few pleasant degrees. We sit in climate-controlled cars, commute to climate-controlled offices, and sleep under weighted blankets in climate-controlled bedrooms. We view this insulation as a massive victory over the natural world, but your ancient biology does not understand this victory. Your body expects a challenge. When you remove the struggle, a psychological phenomenon called comfort creep takes over. Harvard researcher David Levari discovered that as humans experience fewer problems, we do not become satisfied or peaceful. We lower our threshold for what we consider a problem. Think about the physical reaction you have when the internet drops or when a room feels a bit too warm. Your chest tightens. Your breathing becomes shallow and erratic. Your jaw clenches. Your heart rate spikes. Your body unleashes the exact same cascade of stress hormones your ancestors used to escape apex predators. But you're sitting on a plush sofa staring at a loading screen. We spend a staggering 95% of our lives indoors, shielded from the wind and the sun. This relentless indoor existence carries a massive biological cost. While modern medicine keeps our total lifespan high, our health span, the number of years we live with actual vitality, mobility, and strength, is in freefall. We live longer, but we spend our final decades weak, medicated, and tethered to machines. We traded vibrant, rugged health for padded walls and soft chairs. The absence of physical stress causes our cardiovascular systems to weaken, our pain tolerance to plummet, and our metabolic engines to stall. We rust from the inside out because we refuse to weather the storm. To break the insidious trap of comfort creep, you must practice environmental conditioning. You need to shock your system with sudden temperature extremes, turn the knob in your shower to cold, and stand under the freezing water. Sit in a stifling sauna until the sweat pours down your face. Walk outside in the freezing rain in a thin shirt for 5 minutes. When you expose your skin to extreme temperatures, your body undergoes a biological process called hormesis. Short bursts of intense physical stress trigger cellular repair, burn stubborn visceral fat, and flood your brain with endorphins. You train your nervous system to stay calm under pressure. By choosing to freeze or sweat, you reset your baseline for comfort and remind your body how to adapt. Fixing the thermostat and embracing the cold is a crucial first step for the physical body. But our modern insulation goes much deeper than climate control. We built a glowing digital fortress to protect our minds from the quiet moments of life, and the consequences for our brains are catastrophic. Module 2. The Death of Boredom. Before the dawn of the digital age, humans spent a significant portion of their lives doing nothing. Waiting in line at the market, sitting on a train, staring out a window, or watching the fire burn, these moments of enforced stillness allowed the human brain to wander. This idle time let the mind digest complex information, process buried emotions, and generate creative thoughts. Boredom was a natural, inevitable, and productive part of the human experience. Today, true boredom is extinct. Michael Easter marks the exact date of death, June 29, 2007. On that day, the first iPhone hit the market. We traded empty moments for infinite digital scrolling. Observe your own behavior the next time you have a spare minute. The second a conversation stalls or a commercial break begins, your thumb twitches. A magnetic pull drags your hand to your pocket. You unlock the glowing screen. You feed your brain a torrent of loud, colorful, fragmented, meaningless data. You subject yourself to this digital barrage for hours on end. The physical toll manifests clearly: a heavy, dull pressure behind your eyes, a stiff neck, rounded shoulders, and a persistent fog clouding your prefrontal cortex. But the psychological toll threatens the core of our humanity. Research shows that this endless digital consumption correlates with a massive spike in anxiety and cognitive decline. Survey data from Gallup reveals a staggering drop in the number of books Americans read, with a massive percentage reading nothing at all. Because we never allow our brains to power down and rest, we exist in a perpetual state of low-grade panic and hypervigilance. We lost the capacity for deep thought. When you drown out your own inner voice with an endless stream of podcasts, videos, and social feeds, you lose your sense of self. You become a passive consumer of noise, terrified of the silence. The cure for this digital rot is scheduled, unprotected boredom. You must leave your phone behind and step into nature. Easter highlights the 3-day effect, a profound neurological shift that happens when humans spend 3 uninterrupted days in the wild. Brainwaves alter. The static of modern life fades, replaced by a state called soft fascination, a condition where your attention rests gently on the rustling leaves, the flowing water, and the vast sky. This state restores mental clarity and drastically reduces cortisol. You do not need a massive expedition to start this process. Leave your smartphone at home and walk around your neighborhood for an hour. Sit on a park bench and do nothing. Let your mind thrash and rebel against the lack of dopamine. Let the boredom wash over you until it transforms into peace. While our minds consume junk data until they break, our bodies consume junk calories until they collapse. The next time you feel an urgent craving for a snack, you must understand that your brain is orchestrating a massive deception. Module 3. The Hunger Illusion. In the ancient world, acquiring food required intense physical exertion and immense patience. Our ancestors spent hours tracking wild game across rugged terrain, foraging for hidden roots, and climbing tall trees for sparse fruit. They ate when they secured a kill or found a seasonal harvest. The rest of the time they endured hunger. Their bodies operated with incredible efficiency in a fasted state, burning stored body fat for sustained energy. Fast forward to the present day, we live in an unprecedented era of caloric abundance. Food is cheap, calorically dense, and available at the push of a button. This constant abundance destroyed our internal biological compass. You sit at your desk at 2 in the afternoon. A dull ache forms in your stomach. Your mouth waters. Your brain screams that you are starving and need fuel. You tear open a plastic wrapper and consume hundreds of processed calories. But you are not starving. You are experiencing an illusion. Easter reveals a striking statistic. 80% of the eating we do today is driven by stress, negative emotions, or sheer boredom. We eat to self-soothe. We eat to numb the friction of a difficult workday. We mistake a minor dip in blood sugar for a life-or-death survival emergency. Look at the physical manifestations of this constant, endless grazing. A thick layer of visceral fat wraps around our internal organs. We feel sluggish, bloated and lethargic. Our digestive systems never get a single moment of rest. We are vastly overfed and tragically undernourished. By running away from the slightest pang of an empty stomach, we rob our bodies of their natural cellular cleansing process. We invite chronic metabolic diseases, diabetes and heart failure to take root in our overstuffed, overworked bodies. You must reacquaint yourself with the sensation of real hunger. The solution is deliberate fasting or stretching the windows between your meals. Stop eating the moment you feel the first whisper of a craving. Sit with the empty, hollow sensation in your gut. Drink a glass of water and observe the physical feeling without rushing to fix it. You will realize that modern hunger is a suggestion, not a biological mandate. When you allow your body to enter a fasted state, it begins to consume its own cellular waste, repairing damaged tissues and burning stored fat. You reclaim control over your primal impulses. You discover that an empty stomach brings sharp mental focus and boundless physical energy, rather than the weakness you feared. Fixing your diet and embracing hunger heals the internal damage. But to rebuild the external structure of your body, you must resurrect a fundamental physical movement that modern society engineered out of existence. Module 4. The Forgotten Art of Carrying. Throughout human history, survival depended on the ability to carry heavy loads across long distances. We hauled firewood back to the camp. We carried water from the distant river. We hauled the massive meat of a fresh hunt over miles of uneven ground. Carrying weight was the foundational movement that built the human physique. It forged robust spines, powerful hips, and an unbreakable core. But in our quest for a frictionless life, we outsourced our physical burdens. We invented wheeled luggage, motorized shopping carts, and door-to-door delivery services. We stopped carrying things. Try carrying a heavy box up a single flight of stairs today. Your lower back screams in protest. Your grip gives out. Your shoulders slump forward. Your breath comes in ragged gasps. We engineered physical labor out of our daily routines. We sit in ergonomic chairs for hours, causing our hip flexors to shorten, our hamstrings to tighten, and our glutes to turn off. The modern human spine is fragile and misaligned. We suffer from epidemic levels of chronic lower back pain, knee degradation, and shoulder immobility. Without the stress of a heavy load, our bone density drops and our muscles waste away. We built a world where we never have to lift a finger, and the result is a society of people whose bodies break down doing the most basic daily tasks. Our ancestors possessed functional strength. We possess decorative muscles, built-in climate-controlled gyms, disconnected from practical use. The solution is the simplest and most effective physical practice available: rucking. Put a heavy weight in a backpack, strap it to your shoulders, and walk. You do not need a fancy gym membership or complicated equipment. Just add weight and move forward. Rucking forces your posture into alignment. It pulls your shoulders back, engages your core, and strengthens your lower back with every step. It builds cardiovascular endurance while building muscle and bone density. It turns a simple neighborhood walk into a full-body reconstruction. Carrying heavy things in your neighborhood builds a bulletproof body. But mastering your physical environment is still playing it safe. To break the comfort crisis and heal the modern soul, you need a challenge that fundamentally rewires your perception of who you are, a challenge where success is never guaranteed. Module 5, the Misogi Principle. Modern society loves a safety net. We wear helmets, use handrails, follow GPS directions, and avoid any situation that carries a risk of failure. We practice helicopter parenting, shielding children from every possible scrape or disappointment. We grow up in a hyper-safe environment, convinced that failure is the ultimate tragedy. We reach adulthood having never tested our absolute breaking point limits. This obsession with safety breeds a deep sense of aimlessness and fragility. A study found that anxiety and depression rates in college students rose 80% in the generation just after helicopter parenting and hypersafe childhoods began. We feel empty because we never face a challenge where failure is a real, tangible option. Observe the physical symptoms of this sheltered life. Palms sweat and hearts race, not from genuine danger, but from artificial modern stress like an unread email or a social media comment. We panic over trivial inconveniences because we lack perspective. We are protected from failure, which means we are blocked from growth. Without a defining struggle, we lose our sense of purpose. We wander through life, feeling disconnected from our own potential, secretly wondering if we possess any real strength. Modern humans walk through life wrapped in bubble wrap, terrified of the outside world. To shatter this illusion of fragility, Michael Easter introduces the ancient Japanese concept of misogi. A misogi is a monumental, soul-cleansing physical challenge. The rules are strict. First, it must be brutal. Second, you must have a 50% chance of failure. Easter executed his own misogi by embarking on a grueling 33-day caribou hunt in the desolate, freezing wilderness of the Alaskan Arctic. He carried heavy gear over brutal tundra, faced intense isolation, and pushed his body past every perceived limit. During this expedition, he burned 5,000 to 8,000 calories a day, shivering in the cold, battling exhaustion, and facing the raw elements of nature. The misogi operates in 3 distinct phases. The first phase is separation. You exit the society in which you live and venture into the wild, leaving behind all modern conveniences. The second phase is transition. You enter a challenging middle ground. You battle nature. Your mind begs you to quit, your muscles burn, your resolve fractures, and you confront the stark reality of your own limitations. The third phase is incorporation. If you push through that barrier and survive the ordeal, you return to your normal life a fundamentally improved person. You realize that your perceived limits were artificial walls built by a comfortable society. You return to your daily life possessing a quiet, unshakable confidence. The trivial stresses of modern life no longer affect you. You learn that by seeking out the hardest tasks imaginable, you reclaim your wild, happy, and resilient self. You discover that genuine comfort is earned, not bought. You finally understand how modern comfort destroys your physical and mental strength. But mastering your environment is useless if you cannot master the people around you. To uncover the dark, hidden motives driving human behavior, click the video on your screen for The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene.